far away. We have had a couple of matches played already. Rublev was impressive, wasn't he? 6-3, 6-2 against Caruso, an hour and 8 minutes required for the red-hot Russian. We have just seen Djokovic in straight sets as well get past what could have been a really tricky task in Yannick Sinner. Delbonis and Nadal just around the corner, and Lorenzo Sonego against Alexander Zverev to round things off on this main court today. Well, Nadal has made this place his own, 11 times a champion here in Monte Carlo. He loves this place.
I always felt comfortable here. I always enjoyed the place, the atmosphere, the conditions to play tennis. I always had a love story with this place.
Rafa rules in Monte Carlo.
Hopefully this year can continue well and I can be ready to compete at the highest level again. Happy to be back to the tour, of course, and especially happy to be back here in this amazing place. It's part of the history of our sport, this tournament, and it's part of my personal history too.
The king of clay remains just that.
Very excited to be back. I'm enjoying the first couple of days here with, I think, some beautiful weather and good conditions to play tennis, and yeah, I'm very excited to start.
11-time champion Nadal, he'll look to continue his love story with Monte Carlo as he kicks off his clay court season today. His 11 titles here is comfortably the best record of any player at any Masters 1000 event. And well, we're going to have a change in the commentary box. It's Alf Palmer and Lee Goodall will talk you through Nadal's match with Delbonis.
Thank you very much, Mikey. Thanks to Lucial as well for taking us through the first 3 or 4 hours of the day. Yep, our focus shifts now from the world #1 to the world's #3 at the moment. Rafael Nadal, of course, has just slipped down 1 position in the ATP rankings, but he will be looking to build from here with another strong week here in Monte Carlo, and then of course he will move on to Barcelona. It's a familiar schedule for him after years and years of dominance on the clay. Madrid, Rome, and then of course it will be focusing once more
Prochain match sur le court
on Rolex Garros.
Monte Carlo Masters 2021. Le premier joueur à entrer sur le court est 87e mondial aujourd'hui. C'est son 5e Rolex Monte Carlo Masters. Il est argentin, Federico Delbonis.
And the man who has to take him on this afternoon, qualifier from Argentina, Federico Delbonis.
Et il sera opposé à celui qui est numéro 3 mondial, 86 titres dans sa carrière, dont 20 en Grand Chelem et 11 titres ici depuis 2005 au Rolex Monte Carlo Masters, l'Espagnol Rafael Nadal.
Even without the fans, it's an impressive entrance and build-up when Rafa Nadal steps on to the red clay here in the Principality. As we were hearing in the interview, a very, very special place for Nadal. It was where it all started in terms of Masters 1000 titles back in 2005 when he got his hands on his very first trophy at this level, beating Guillermo Correa in the final back in the day when we had 5-set finals, 4-set victory that one. And of course the dominance has been extraordinary since on this surface, but particularly here in Monte Carlo on this court. And he will look to extend that success story over the next few days and start with a statement today, no doubt. Conditions are okay, not quite the day we had yesterday on the Côte d'Azur. Blue skies and sunshine 24 hours ago, but it's dry. It's the main thing. Busying himself as ever to get everything lined up before we get this coin toss underway.
Can I have one more tablet?
Okay, guys, so we have 7 line umpires on court, so all the nine are covered. Shot clock on the court is in the corner, 25 seconds. The time starts after an answer score in French. For your towels, Rafael, you have the boxes number 1. Federico, you have the number 2. Otherwise, we have TV changeovers and the net machine. If you want me to check a match, just stop the point and call me. Any questions? No? Do you want ATP or the World? ATP. ATP is called. ATP. Receive. Good match.
Aurélie Tort is in charge of our third match of the day on this main show code called Renier Trois. And it's the qualifier from Argentina, Federico Delbonis, up against the number 3 seed this year, Rafael Nadal. And the first real big story, I guess, when the draw was made just before the tournament got underway was where Nadal would fall in the draw, given Djokovic is the top seed and world number 1, and it was down in the bottom half, so no Djokovic-Nadal semi-final. That was a possibility when the draw was made. Nadal down in the bottom of half of course, we've lost the number 2 seed, Daniil Medvedev, after the positive COVID test yesterday. So if he wasn't favourite to come through this half before Medvedev disappeared, he certainly is now. Nadal's first match of the week with a bye in the first round. Delbonis coming through against Adrian Manarino in straight sets. Arv Palmer, welcome.
Thank you, Lee.
What are we expecting from Federico Delbonis this afternoon? Come through qualies, does he pose any real threat today?
Well, he's going to have to be aggressive today, there's no question about that. Yes, the fact that he's won those matches in qualies, never easy to get through qualies at this level, and then win his first match actually here in the main draw. Hasn't ever done that before in Monte Carlo, so he's going to be feeling pretty good about his game right now, but you're up against Nadal, and it's a completely different kettle of fish. That playing him on this court, almost an impossible task to beat the Spaniard, but he's got to get off to a good start. That's key to him. Just build that belief somehow, establish himself early in this match. He's got power, Delbonis. It's not a windy day, so hopefully the serve will work for him. Big off the back of the court as well. It's a surface that he's very comfortable on. Normally a winning record on the clay on the main tour, so we'll have to look at all the positives. And actually the last time they played, not on a hard court, he actually did win a set against Nadal, so some positives there for him.
A couple of wins over the weekend for Delbonis over Roberto Marcora and Pedro Martinez. 6-4 in the third to book his place in the first round.
Just have to correct myself, actually. It was straight sets the last time they played. Actually, it was at the Australian Open. It was 3-6-1.
Yeah, we'll drill down into that head-to-head in a moment. Let's build this guy up, if indeed he does need any building up when he steps onto a clay court. Number 3 seed. I guess that's the main difference, isn't it? He's dropped one place down the world rankings. We're not used to him try that again. We're not used to seeing him arrive in Monte Carlo as the world number 3. That could change, though, if he makes the final, so that might change pretty quickly.
Yes, I think that was the case now that Medvedev is out of the tournament, so he can get himself back up there, an extra spot there. But at this stage in his career, I don't think he's that fussed about what his ranking is all about. It's about the big titles, especially this time of year, placing himself perfectly, coming into the clay court season and going into the French Open as well. But yeah, if he can get himself back at the right rankings, it certainly saves him that, I guess, difficulty if the draw doesn't go his way and he is in the top half and Djokovic is in that top half. He does face him a little bit earlier than he would normally like.
You have to take a deep breath before reading out those years when this guy has lifted the trophy. It really is a sensational record. And more often than not, it's provided the perfect foundation, really, to go on and dominate the clay court season. We'll see whether that is the case this year, of course. Here's the head-to-head we were referring to. It's pretty one-sided, isn't it? Especially if you dig into a few of those earlier meetings between these two players.
Yeah, those two were on clay a long time ago, though, 2013 and 15 in Chile and Argentina, but yeah, not losing too many games those two occasions. Nadal on the clay 3-2, 1-1. Obviously a decent enough match-up for Nadal, despite Delbonis being a lefty. His forehand cross-court going into Delbonis's forehand. But Nadal's so good at just making those adjustments.
It's Carlos Moya. He's been alongside his good friend, fellow Spaniard Rafa, for a good number of years now.
Federico Delbonis a gagné tirage au sort et a choisi de relancer. Delbonis won a toss and elected to receive.
We are getting ready to enjoy another second round match on the main show court here in Monte Carlo, the Rolex Monte Carlo Masters. Federico Delbonis, the qualifier from Argentina, taking on a man who has made this tournament his own, really, since arriving, playing this event for the first time in 2003, won his first Masters title here in 2005, and he's claimed the title on 11 occasions. Looking for a 12th this year. This is where it all begins. Nadal making his first appearance on the match court since Australia.
Au service, Rafael Nadal. Ready? Play. Zero. 15 love.
Concerns about the back. That was the latest physical issue that Nadal has had to deal with down in Australia during his 2-week quarantine period. Denied him the opportunity to play any matches for Spain in the ATP Cup, and then it really was a case of managing that issue, wasn't it, through the Australian Open, where he eventually lost in the quarterfinals to Tsitsipas.
Didn't want to take any risks, did he? Weeks leading up to that, I think he may have been able to just maybe squeak out a match or so, or two during the ATP Cup, but didn't want to risk that getting any worse. Said it was stiffness, but just seemed to hang around for a while. Chose to further rest it after the Australian Open. Was due to play a couple of tournaments, was due to go to Acapulco and play in Miami, but he decided not to, just to make sure that back was 100% right. Doesn't want to take any risks this stage of his career now. Just wants to play as close to 100% every time he gets to the match court, certainly when it comes to the clay court season.
Quarante-quinze. 40-15. Nadal.
Straight back to business with a comfortable hold of serve.
Good vibes that he must feel the moment he steps on a clay court. Those good feelings come back very quickly.
Family along for the week. Father and sister courtside. We've seen Moya as well. Carlos Moya, incidentally, a former winner here, so You have good memories of returning to Monte Carlo.
Au service, Federico Delbonis. Yeah, 15 love.
Yeah, it's a nice sight to see, isn't it? Ball kids wanting a glimpse.
Got to time your lunch break right.
Yes,
Get
no,
your early request in.
no disrespect to Delbonis, but
15 all.
there just to get a glimpse of Nadal, no doubt. I actually had to have drawn straws, the ball kids, this week to get this match.
Tompkins. 30-15.
It's a nice combination. Drawing Delbonis out of position.
We've seen how effective the drop shot was in our previous match. Played at the right time. Djokovic was able to do that a lot. We've seen Nadal throwing in an early one. If it works for you, you're going to continue to throw it in at the right time.
Monte, 30-40.
First chance for Nadal. An early break of serve.
Nadal mène 2-0.
In these heavier conditions, you can see how Rafa's forehand is just reacting off the surface. Still getting up. Last one up high on Delbonis.
We've both had the pleasure of commentating on a fair few Nadal matches. I've lost count of the times he's been able to break, you know, and go up maybe 3-love or 4-1, particularly on this surface. It seems to strike so quickly, doesn't he?
Yeah, in general, he's probably one of the quickest starters out there. You know, he's so intense from the very beginning. That's just the way he is. That's the way he plays his tennis. It's no kind of feeling his way in. Get that kind of early break. It is a nice confidence boost for him and put some serious doubt in your mind if you're his opponent. It's an intensity that is so difficult to match, I think.
Love 15.
I think it takes you by surprise the first few games that you play him. You think, you know, he's not taking his foot off the pedal at all. He might get used to it as the match unfolds, but to kind of maintain and match him for that, I don't think there's many players out there that can.
Check that nice and early.
15 ans.
Well up the court when he struck that backhand.
Differential forehand shape there, working the court nicely, the ball nicely, and then the slightly flatter one lower over the net, fires it through. The different spins that you have to contend with against Nadal.
Tonkins. 30-15. Let second service.
Tend not to come out on top of too many of those rallies.
30 ans.
Nadal's in the centre of the court, dominating with the forehand.
30 ans. Quarante 30. 40-30. Nadal.
As has so often been the case, Nadal wasting no time stamping his authority on this contest. Just over 10 minutes played, and he's up 3-love. Gives us an opportunity just to remind ourselves of Nadal's dominance here over the years. When you look at that number of, compared to the numbers that some of the true greats of the game have been able to accumulate here, it's quite remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, to win that title as many times as he has, 11 times, and yeah, some of the greats, as you mentioned on there, not able to get anywhere near that, but such a natural on this surface, Nadal. I'm not sure that we're going to ever see numbers anywhere close to this ever again. The numbers that he's able to post on clay especially, and here in Monte Carlo as well. That's Fernando. He didn't miss too many balls on the clay, did he? 2 wins here. Start with Curtin, 2 as well. Juan Carlos Ferreira, he was the original king of clay, wasn't he?
Time.
So trailing 3-love. It's a sweet strike, beautiful backhand.
15-0.
He's going to have to take a few calculated risks out there, especially on the backhand, where he can seriously flatten that shot out. Good example of that here. Works the opening nicely. Able to get himself on the front foot there. Had a bit of time on that backhand, which is key. Get some time on the ball, you've got to make the most of it.
He's done well there to Delbonis. Again, under pressure. Nadal kept in that backhand corner,
30-love.
controlling the point. But he survived. It's good. Delbonis wandering over to where that ball landed, just to make sure.
30-15.
Some serious power he could create, can't he? Above shoulder height.
Just gorgeous play from Nadal. An ultimate forehand there was just exceptional. Loads of swing to it. Really working off the court, this one. So safe, that one. But Delbonis is playing that backhand from. He's miles behind the baseline. It's got to be the next shot for Nadal. Absolute control of the rally.
Trente-40. 30-40.
First double fault from the Argentine brings up a chance for a double break for Nadal.
Nadal.
And it is a double break. Back-to-back double faults.
Nadal mène 4-0. 4 games to love.
We're going according to plan then. Let's talk a little bit about the Nadal ball on this surface. Something we hear opponents talk about, don't we? How it differs. What does he do in terms of the stroke generation to make it different, make it feel different when you're playing other players?
Yeah, I think he finds the perfect balance between spin. He doesn't really compromise too much on the power either. So much spin on the ball, lots of revs on it. It's big and it just explodes off the surface. The ball is just rearing up at you, so difficult to control, and he's just trying to do something slightly different on a clay court than what he does on a hard court, where he's trying to hit through the ball a little bit more, perhaps be a bit more aggressive and flatten out the forehand. But on the clay, he knows with the surface and with his spin and power that, you know, if he plays with a bit more shape to it, it just kicks off that clay and it just keeps you pinned back, and he's able to find angles, just win his points just slightly differently, open up the court and then flatten out the forehand or backhand to the open court, more aggressive that way. Once he gets you on the move, it's like you're on an ice rink out there. You just can't balance yourself. You end up just doing laps back there. Players actually say it's like playing against two forehands because the backhand has improved hugely over the last few years. So where do you go? How do you rush him on a clay court? It's so difficult.
Let her service.
Nadal. You need to get a sense of deja vu watching Nadal in this kind of mood on this court. Just over 20 minutes played. 5 games played, 5 games won. Let's go back to that previous point, Arv, as well, about how quickly he starts matches. I wonder how many matches he must win mentally in the first 4 or 5 games. Whether players truly believe from this position, 5-love down in the first set after 20 minutes, that they can win this match.
I think a lot of that starts in the changing rooms before they even get to the warm-up of the match. You know, your break up before you even come out here, knowing that you've got to take Nadal on a clay court. Yeah, I don't know where the belief levels are right now for Delbonis, but they're running pretty rock bottom right now at the minute. Not really feeling as if he's part of this match right now. Just a set like this, you've just got to try and put behind you. Still got to try and win 2 sets. If you're Delbonis, if you lose this opening one, just 2 in a row.
Nadal in good shape on Court Renier Trois. Let's just jump across to Court des Princes, a few yards, to check in on the British #1, Dan Evans, taking on the Miami champion Hubert Hurkacz. And it's been a good set for Evans. After a good win against Dusan Lajovic. He's taken the opener 6 games to 4. Hurkacz moving a little gingerly, wasn't he, towards his chair.
(15-0). 15 love. 15.
Serve starting to misfire. It is an unusual service motion, to say the least of.
About 3 parts to it. It's not the most fluid, is it? I think he gets a bit jittery behind it. You're going to see some double faults, and it's not even windy today. Something that he's tweaked over the years as well. Different versions of it. That ball, such a high ball toss, it's coming down quickly. You just start doubting yourself. Tentative on the strike, especially on the second serve, where you're trying to impart some spin on the ball. Doubt yourself there, it can go anywhere. There's that forehand. Second before last shot there, the way it just took off. Plenty of spin to this one. Once it bounced, it just stretches you out even that bit further if you're Delbonis. You think you're there, but no, you're not. It's a pretty dead clay court at the minute as well.
Nadal quickly conceding that was double bounce.
40-30. 40-30.
Did have control that time, Delbonis. Bit of angle to that previous shot. Nadal out wide.
Chance to get on the board.
Jeu, Delbonis.
Avoids the bagel.
Nadal mène 5 jeux à 5 games to 1. Love 15.
Does own 3 top 10 wins, Delbonis. All of those 3 coming a few years ago. First one, in fact, was against Roger Federer on this surface. Semis in Hamburg, the ATP 500 event. It's one of the more unusual years in terms of Federer's schedule. Decided to go back to the clay after the grass season.
Get
a few more matches in, and it was Delbonis who won that semi-final. Also always wins over Wawrinka on clay and Andy Murray, Indian Wells. On those slow, hard courts in the desert.
Say Delbonis doing a really good job initially. Did do a good job initially. With his length, some hope of a chance he can keep Nadal back, but Nadal up the court quickly. Delbonis just dropped to ground stroke, just slightly short, and the Spaniard just takes over.
30. 30.
Pretty much on the stroke of half an hour. Nadal with his first set point.
Et première manche, Nadal.
Nadal looking pretty smooth already.
Changement de balle ramasseur, s'il vous plaît.
What is his first match since Australia? Raced through that opening set in 31 minutes. He's taken it 6 games to 1.
Start to his campaign here this week. Very good ball striking from Nadal. Very much in control of most rallies from the back of the court. Came forward just that one time as well. Nadal 1 from 1 at the net. 10 winners forehand in good order. 7 of those 10 winners coming off that wing. Just the 4 unforced errors. Hasn't really troubled on serve. Delbonis just able to win 8 points on serve from 18 in that opening set. It's going to be a very difficult day at the office. There's no question about that. Saw some longer rallies, over 9. Nadal's winning double the amount there, so it's medium length points that Delbonis was doing pretty well there. Played a few more of those type points in the second set if he can. Those shorter points, Nadal under 5 shots. He is dominating 13 to the 4. First serve percentages good for Nadal. Effective, doing well behind the second serve as well, and Delbonis struggling behind his second serve. Just 1 of 6 points, 1 behind the second. It's all Nadal really in that opening set. Got off to a very quick start. A couple of breaks of serve as well.
We will be back on court Renier-Trois in a few moments' time. Let's quickly jump to court 2. Third match of the day over there. We've had victories for Grigor Dimitrov, David Goffin, and now Tommy Paul taking on Roberto Bautista Agut, who's had a really good year so far. A couple of finals, made the semis in Miami. Set point for the Spaniard. Tough guy to get past. RBA upper set on the American. Match is in progress. Just a reminder there, Court de Prince. Evans, we saw take the opening set. He's racing away with that one, set and 4-love against the Miami champion Hurkacz. And Luca Pouille closing in on a victory over Alexei Popyrin.
La 15.
Let's rejoin the contest. Third match of the day on the main show court. Wins for Rublev and Djokovic so far on this court today. Zverev taking on Sonigo in the last match on this court following this one.
15 on. 15-30.
Slight opening in a rally for Delbonis.
15-30.
A chance to really take control, maybe find a winner or get an error out of this guy. Just adds pressure to the shot because you want to make the most of it. Leads to misses though.
Shane played a good point.
Quinze 40. 15-40.
Two out of two break points converted so far by the Spaniard.
To count.
It's well played.
30-40.
Can you do that enough times? Another 20, 30 times and you'll be in business. Find these sort of forehands.
Deuce.
Doesn't like missing those returns, does he? You can tell by the look on his face. It's been a
got
near perfect match so far and still frustrated to miss that.
one that was in the slot for him. Really, he didn't have to move to play it. I mean, he's way back here, isn't he? Never get used to seeing him returning from this sort of position. So far back.
Nadal.
He doesn't have a natural lefty serve, Delbonis. He can't quite expose the angles on the serve, and Nadal being so far behind the baseline. Doesn't get that natural swing and angle. Great lefty servers can find.
Nadal strikes. Carbon copy of the opening set.
First game, second set.
He's wasted no time in taking control.
Yeah, and taking control with that forehand wing right now. Nadal getting onto that shot as early as possible has always been his major weapon. Does so much damage off that wing, especially on the forehand side. Difficult to find his backhand. You really have to be accurate. You've got to go big there. Get into that wing if you can, but otherwise he'll start playing a lot of forehands. And when he does, he really does take control of the rally, and he's been spreading the play very nicely. He's been able to get Delbonis on the move pretty much immediately as he gets a forehand into play, working the angles nicely, cross court, nice short ones there. That one really pulls you off the court, and then uses the inside out one as well. Watch out for that forehand up the line when he's feeling really good. Flatten that one out. And it'll put you under all sorts of pressure.
$15-0. 15 love.
Pretty impressive, to say the least, record in opening matches of this tournament over the years. 16-0. First matches of the week at this event played.
First service.
He's only ever dropped a set in those opening matches, just the once. So if you add that first set to that number, that's 33-1. It's the size of the task for Delbonis today. Kyle Edmund from Great Britain had a good match.
Did?
Carl, didn't you remember that?
I think he had him in a little bit of trouble in that match, if I remember correctly. He was playing really well. Good day, Carl, using his forehand well. I'm a bit worried.
It's 2017.
Wondering where Edmund is, still trying to recover from knee problem that he has. Quite right. Yeah, it's been a while. Be eager to get back, especially this time of year as well, because it's a very good clay court player. Excuse me, Edmund.
Nadal. Nadal mène 2-0, 2 games to love.
And again, 10 minutes played, and his opponent's up against it already, both in terms of the scoreline, and tactically, of course, but mentally too.
Love 15.
Balance not quite there at the minute for Delbonis. 16 unforced errors. Just the 3 winners. Worked super angle from Nadal, just a game changer there, point changer. Can you call them unforced errors against Nadal? 16 of those, because I don't know, it's just that constant pressure that you're under. I mean, the ball is there to be struck, but you're still under pressure to make it.
Starting to tighten the vice. Casting an eye towards that mark, but he's satisfied. Would have been 10 points in a row had Nadal converted that break point. There we go.
Nadal mène 3 jeux à 0.
Flick of the wrist, disappears up the line. And again, it's a double break. Set and 3-love, in charge. Quickly go back to Court de France. We've had a very quick second set over there. We understand there was perhaps a physical issue with Hubert Hurkacz. Seemed to have a problem with his leg in the first set. Certainly not 100%. Not to take anything away from Dan Evans, who moves into the last 16. Great effort from the British number 1, 4-1. Evans through to play Djokovic tomorrow. Nice reward.
It's out. Yeah, that way. Yeah, exactly.
That was close, wasn't it? Walker, 4 mil wide.
15-0. Kenza. 15-all.
Just his footing there.
I don't often see that from Nadal. Slipping like that. Did he just kind of, yeah, he just slipped that left foot.
15-30.
Normally so balanced, even in defence.
15-30.
Oh, well done. Didn't quite get the lob executed as he would have wished, Nadal.
15-40.
Yeah, classy finish from Delbonis here. Getting up to that one, and it was a sensible shot, just getting it as deep as he could. But to find feel up here, it's not easy to play that shot. Want to back off it like that.
First break points. for the man from Argentina. For a millisecond, he might have felt like he was in control at that point after a good return, but Nadal so good at turning those kind of points around.
30-14.
One more chance.
Let first service.
Slight mental error there. Delbonis trying to defend there up the line. Maybe he was trying to catch Nadal out. Tough shot to execute.
It's got him that time.
Avantage Delbonis.
Best returns his hit. Again, Nadal survives. To work hard in the early stages of the point.
Threw everything in those two backhands that Delbonis had. Really good length, but Nadal was able to soak up the pressure and he started dancing around his backhand. His forehand working again. Just trying to go too big in the end, Delbonis.
Yeah, just out.
Avantage Delbonis.
Well, it will, of course, be a case of baby steps for Delbonis in terms of turning this match around. It's got to start here. Just to take one of these opportunities. Fourth chance of the game now. And he does.
Delbonis. Nadal mène 3-1, 3 games to 1.
Hopefully that'll make him feel a bit better about things. Delbonis worked hard enough there to eventually get the break. Just a 9-minute game. Looks like there's going to be any let up from Nadal here, though. He'll be right back on point, you'd imagine.
Quinze. 15-all. Quinze 30. 15-30.
It's one of the many elements to admire about Nadal, isn't it? He can break his game down to so many different compartments. The ability to bounce back quickly. Definitely up there. Clear his head quickly and maintain a positive attitude.
30-all.
Plenty of time to set up for the return of serve, and a nice adjustment, good footwork around the ball to finish off the point.
One up the line again. That's so good. That little bit of bend to it. Looked as if it were perhaps going to land wide, but just curling in the court.
That is a brilliant strike.
40.
He's tried to be aggressive whenever he's had the opportunity.
Upping the pace here nicely, good injection of pace there. Not deviating, struck very cleanly, accurately to that sideline.
Avantage Delbonis.
Fourth and fifth forehand winners of the match for the Argentine. Chance to get things back to 3-2. Such a good backhand, wasn't it? The defence just floating that one to his toes.
It's coming as well with Rafa charging forward after a shot like that as well. So pressure was always there for Delbonis to play such a good half volley stroke volley there.
Avantage Delbonis.
Working hard to try and keep that scoreboard moving. Do the first serve here. He's won 1 of 14 points behind his second serve today. Finds one.
Delbonis.
Gets the hold of serve. It's been a good 10 minutes or so for Delbonis. 3-love becomes 3-2.
Just looks as if he's starting to believe a little bit more out here, which is good to see. Good body language, the shake of the racket. After winning, closing out that service game. Still a ways to go, but definitely feels as if he's part of this now, Delbonis. This is the unusual service motion. He has such a high take back initially. You can see how straight that left arm is as well there. Doesn't really get into that throwing position. Gets into it pretty late, still quite laid open. Such a high ball toss. He's having to wait for that to come down a fair bit, so it's a fairly quick motion eventually once that ball comes down.
Where's the trash? The trash.
Privileged position, isn't it, to get a look at Nadal this year with no fans in the house. Very different feel and atmosphere to the Monte Carlo Country Club, but I feel just as special for whoever gets their hands on the trophy Sunday afternoon. There's a familiar face. Rafa's uncle, who's been by his side, or was by his side for so many years, here with Felix Auger-Aliassime this week, and for the weeks to come. That seems to be a relationship that will be in place, at least for the foreseeable future. They're talking about that seriously, aren't they?
Yeah, good to see. Nice to see him back out on the main tour again, the tournaments. And yeah, I mean, he obviously respects Felix's game hugely, because he's not going to get back out here for just anyone. So feels as if he can help him and improve him. Still going to be a major part of the academy. Mix for Tony Nadal.
30-15.
A lot of respect for Felix's personality as well. I think, you know, listening to Tony Nadal talk about the Canadian, it's important, isn't it? It's that mutual respect, work ethic. I think we're starting to see that from some of the new generation as well, aren't we? You know, wonder whether they've grown up, you know, watching Not only Rafa, of course, Djokovic and Federer too. And
40-15.
watching those kind of guys, the way they've gone about their business is starting to rub off on, you know, some of those younger guys coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. 100% right there, and put Murray in that group as well. You know, these players absolutely love what they do every day. Work ethic. Work rate. Every practice session, always out there, not going through the motions, just trying to improve something every time they're on the practice court. They set the bar pretty high in that regard.
Yannick Sinner, a good example of that when you listen to the young Italian. Very similar sort of approach to Nadal's over the years. Just about improving something day in, day out. It's okay for this guy.
Nadal. Nadal mène 4 jeux à 2. 4 games to 2.
Couple of games away. Assuming he finishes this one off, let's just take a quick look at what the route might be for Rafa through the draw. Dimitrov next. Dimitrov coming through against Shardy earlier today. Then if he wins that, possible quarter-final against either Rublev or Bautista Agut, probably.
That's so good from Nadal. The defensive lob initially, just getting it as deep and as high as possible. And then the follow at the backhand up the line was higher, loopier. Didn't want to press the reset button there.
If he makes the semis, then it's the bottom quarter that really is the quarter of intrigue in many ways. That's where the opportunity is, given the absence of Medvedev, who was the second seed. Casper Ruud beating Schwartzman today, so he will play either Hachanov or Carreño Busta in the last 16, and Fanini Krajinovic in the last 16. Treated to another Fanini Nadal semi-final.
That'd be good.
15-30.
Be exciting.
Djokovic and Tsitsipas, two of the top 4 seeds in the top half of the draw. Zverev up there as well. He plays next on this court, number 5 seed.
15-14.
Further chances to extend his lead. Sure he's happy with that one.
Very soft.
30-40. 30-40. Deuce. Avantage Nadal.
Another chance for what would be a fifth break. And what would surely signal the end for Delbonis.
Nadal.
It does convert.
Nadal mène 5 jeux à 2, 5 games to 2.
Breaks for a third time in this second set. Just a game required for the number 3 seed. Is he still your man to beat this season, of this clay court season?
Yes, yeah, it's difficult to go against Nadal if he's anywhere near fitness. I think he's definitely the favourite this clay court season. I mean, whether he'll win every week he plays on the clay, we'll have to see. Of course, here this week, and then move on to Barcelona, then Madrid, then Rome, and on to the French Open. I'd be surprised if he lost somewhere along the way, but come the French Open, I think he's going to be in the best possible shape, well positioned. He's got his eyes set on another one of those. Things have looked good this opening match for him.
Will this be the start of the road towards what would be a 14th French Open title and a 21st Grand Slam title for Nadal in a couple of months' time? That will be the target. Builds the game, the confidence as he heads to Paris. Desperately want to take care of business here this week first, though. Serving for victory.
Wanting out eventually. Delbonis trying to go for the winning shot there, but not that close. Rallies over 9 shots, 14 to the 6 in Rafa's favour.
Forehanders fizzing, kicking off the dirt.
30 love.
It's a special combination. That fizz that you talk about, also the pace behind it.
It's good tennis. Throwing caution to the wind now.
Good looking volley, that one. Nice and deep. It's as if Nadal was going to turn that point around.
It's absolute beauty. Check the mark. There was no call. No, Rafa thinks it's missed.
I think it's good, Rafael.
Or has it? I assume the shake of the head meant he thought that was wide. He's still having a look. Some backhand if it did catch the line. Straight back to business.
40-30.
Just over an hour and a quarter. It's taken. Nadal to bring up match point.
The last time he missed a forehand at that position in the court. Most unusual.
I think it was 2006.
Remember it well.
Back to deuce. Just going to focus for a couple more minutes. In the script.
Delbonis.
Second double fault of the match with the Spaniard. Just gives Delbonis a bit of a lifeline here, at least to extend this a little longer. Chance to break for a second time in this second set.
Égalité. Deuce.
He's made that follow through famous. Lasso.
Avantage Nadal.
Second match point. hanging on. Had a good point there.
Égalité. Deuce.
He's played a couple of good volleys today. Very nice. Technically, kept it nice and short.
Avantage Nadal.
Match point number 3 as this service game heads towards the 8-minute territory. Rafael Nadal extends his match record here at the Rolex Monte Carlo Masters to 72 victories, just the 5 defeats since he first arrived here many years ago. And the Spaniard gets his bid for what would be a 12th title up and running. Fairly comfortable today against the qualifier from Argentina. 1-2 in an hour and 20.
Delbonis certainly put up a better fight in that second set. 6-2, but it lasted 50 minutes. He had to force Nadal just to think a little bit more there towards the end. Did actually break his serve as well, but Nadal's relentlessness from the back of the court just telling in the end. This guy's level just wasn't high enough for long enough periods of time. One of the toughest challenges in this sport is to play Nadal on a clay court. We saw why on occasions there from Nadal. Everything looking pretty good order. Be happy with that.
Books a date with Grigor Dimitrov tomorrow down in the bottom of the draw. Mentioned Dimitrov came through against Jeremy Chardy. It's a tasty quarter of the draw, that. Rublev, and then either Tommy Paul or Roberto Bautista Agut. Those guys still on court. Dimitrov, Nadal. Fanini down there as well. Carreño Busta taking on Hachanov at the moment. PCB arriving on the back of a title. Marks out of 10 for Rafa today.
Can I give halves?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, actually, I'll give him an 8.
Okay.
I was going to say 7.5. I guess the loss of serve will just irk him a bit. Just wanted to get that final game done a bit quicker, I guess, the only other thing. But apart from that, first match out. I know he's been practicing on the clay for a while now, but still, when it comes to matches, a place where you've just had a crazy amount of success, those nerves are still going to be there. First match out, the butterflies, which is a good thing. You know you're doing a lot of things well. You know you still care, and you feel those sort of nerves and those butterflies. You could be happy with the numbers this afternoon as well. Okay, a few unforced errors, some coming off that forehand. A few of those in the second set there, but 16 winners, 12 forehand winners as well, and he did draw a lot of errors out of Delbonis' game as well. Did well when coming forward, does that ever so well these days, doesn't he? Nadal 5 from 5 at the net. Those finishing volleys looking good. Those longer rallies where he was able to win the majority of those, turned that number around. Those medium length rallies was actually Delbonis was getting some success in the opening set, those length rallies, but ended up being pretty one-sided there for Nadal. Serve percentages, Nadal will be okay with that number, I guess. Did protect his second serve nicely despite missing a few first serves. It was a tough day at the office for Delbonis behind his second serve. Just 4 of 18 points won there. And plenty of breaks of serve from Nadal. 5 from 11 break points converted. Hour and 20, job done.
So Nadal through the number 3 seed here this week, 1 and 2 against the qualified Delbonis. And his rewards is a meeting with Grigor Dimitrov, who's looked pretty good so far this week. That'll be an interesting encounter tomorrow when we take care of the last 16 here in Monte Carlo. Dimitrov coming through against Jeremy Chardy in straights today. Rublev came through against Caruso, and in the last few moments, a good victory for Roberto Bautista Agut over Tommy Paul. So that section of the draw is complete. Let's head back down onto the clay. We are about to hear from Rafael Nadal, is talking to Paul King.
Rafa, great to see you back in action on one of your favourite courts. You must be really pleased with the way you conducted yourself out there, considering how long you've been away from the match action here.
Well, yeah, good to start. Always good to come back to the competition with a victory, of course. I think I played a solid match. I need to keep going, but I had some positive feelings out there.
And Federico is a really dangerous player on this surface. How did you approach that one tactically? Because you did look in control right from the beginning there.
Well, we have been playing against each other for such a long time, so we know each other well. Yeah, I have respect for every opponent, and of course for Fede. He's not an exception, and he played some amazing matches on clay, winning tournaments, so maximum respect, and I think I played a very serious match.
And Grigor Dimitrov awaits in round 3. You got a 13-1 head-to-head record against him, but he's been showing signs of getting back to his best recently, isn't he?
Yeah, he finished. He started the season playing well. Always a tough battle in front of him. He's a great player, a good friend of mine. So yeah, I need to play my best if I want to really have chances to keep going. I'm gonna try it.
Very best of luck. Good luck with that one. Thanks, Rafa.
Yeah, good today, but he will have the utmost respect for that section of the draw alongside Rublev, Bautista Agut, and next Dimitrov. Just a reminder of his success at this level. This is all-time win-loss record at Masters 1000. We mentioned his win-loss record here in Monte Carlo, 72 on the board, 390 in total. He leads the way.
Yeah, it's no surprise so many of these wins have come on the clay courts. He racks them up pretty quickly, and it's just always so interesting to see him after a match like that speak. And, you know, he has to start that process all over again. He doesn't want to fast forward through the tournament, doesn't want to rush anything, just gives his opponents the maximum respect, knows how difficult it is out there, and that's why he's able to rack up so many match wins at this level.
Let's bring you some results from the day. It's another busy day around the grounds here at the Monte Carlo Country Club. Start on the main show court right at the start of the day. Andrei Rublev, another player who has built so much consistency over the last couple of years as he's climbed the rankings. He was taking on the Italian qualifier Salvatore Caruso today. Fernando Vicente alongside him again, and straight sets for Rublev. Djokovic was up against Sinner. This was really built up, of course, for good reason, because Jannik Sinner is an extraordinary young talent from Italy. Not good enough today against Djokovic, world #1 and top seed, going through 4 and 2. Fognini is the defending champion from 2019, of course, the cancellation of the event 12 months ago. And it's just going along nicely. Bottom of the draw, interesting reaction.